Doves fly at the Fed as officials signal they are done raising rates, instead raising the number of rate cuts they see next year. Officials left the overnight rate unchanged at 5.25% to 5.5%, but they essentially confirmed that's it. The money quote from the statement gets a one-word addition in determining the extent of any additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2%. The dot plot, meanwhile, sees 75 basis points of cuts next year, one more move than they saw in September. The dispersion is wide, however, with 8 seeing fewer than those 3 cuts, 5 seeing more than 3. In 2025, they see an additional 4 rate cuts, 1 down from September, and 2 more in 2026. The longer-run neutral rate remains at 2.5%. Their move comes as they significantly lower their median headline inflation forecast this year to 2.8%. As the statement notes, inflation has eased over the past year, but remains elevated. In the median forecast, it falls further in 2024 to 2.4%, 2.1% in 2025, and 2% finally in 2026. Core PCE inflation, 3.2% this year, down from September's forecast of 3.7%. It keeps falling, hitting 2% also in 2026. The statement says, quote, growth of economic activity has slowed from its strong pace in the third quarter, but they still revised their median forecast for GDP growth this year significantly to 2.6% from 2.1% in September. It falls to just 1.4% next year. Potential growth in the longer run is seen at 1.8%.
Listening to this, you will know that Fed are done with raising the interest rate. And then they said in the first quarter of 2024, they are going to cut rates. And then if you want to add it, in 2024, they will do more of rate cuts than anything. And if you check the last interest rate they dropped, they owed the interest rate. And I think they've owed 2 interest rates consecutively now. Before then, they raise the interest rate, and this is how it is done. You first hold the interest rate after raising it before you pivot, that is before you cut the interest rate. So they said they are going to raise the interest cut the interest rate, in the first quarter of 2024. And if you are in the crypto environment, you will be hearing something about bull run and stuff like that. And the aftermath effect of bull run should be US dollar weakness. So that if you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you know. And the bull run also is expected to come in the first quarter of 2024. So this is a hint. You have to be ready so that you can take advantage of the bull run in the crypto market also. And last week we saw the drop of the interest rate reports from 4 banks, that is not like 3 banks, from the US dollar, from the Swiss franc, and from the pounds, which all of them owed their interest rate report. And we saw the CPI coming better than expected on the US dollar. And this weakest currency last week should be coming from the US dollar. And I said it last week that the 2 currencies you should focus on, that is the pair you should focus on this the just concluded week is GBP US dollar. And if you look at GBP US dollar, it looks like the most volatility we have last week comes from that pair. That is it moves than any other pair last week. So that is what I said last week. You should focus on this GBP US dollar. And last week video we talk about US dollar weakness, and we saw what happened after the Fed announcement. Even after the CPI coming out better than expected, it does not affect anything. The Fed speech come over and then it triumphed over the market, which they said they are going to they are done with raising rates. So investors took that into consideration and started selling the US dollar. And we saw the US dollar weakness last week against the pounds, against the euro, against the Canadian dollar and all other US dollar pairs, apart from the gold, which later on Friday declined. And then on Friday too, we saw the strength coming back in to the US dollar. You know, on Thursday they owed their interest rate report, and on Friday we saw the US dollars strong after the announcement has faded away. So this is what should we be expecting? I believe we should be expecting US dollar strength for some days, for like Monday and Tuesday thereabouts, and on Wednesday the market should continue pricing the rate cut effect, and then we should see the US dollar weakness coming back to the market. I might be wrong, but this is what I feel. Even checking at the technical level, even checking at the DSY, so I believe we should see a move back to this particular area, back to this resistance area, and then we should see a decline to this back to this low at 99,648. So if you are just joining this channel for the first time, this is Ambafx. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I drop you the latest insight in the world of forex market, technically and the fundamental aspect. So do well to subscribe, follow. Don't forget to drop your opinion in the comment section. And the comment section looks dry. Please let us try and be engaging the comment section, and don't forget to like and share. So what are we looking at next in this market environment? And I want to tell you that this is the last weekly forex forecast for the year 2023, and I will be resuming the weekly forex forecast in January 13, 2024. So let's look at the economic activities of next week. The market environment, we just have on Tuesday the BOJ policy rates and the press conference, and lo and behold, it's still tentative, so they don't know yet. Maybe they are going to drop it on that day, so they might actually postpone it. So let's see how it goes right there. So on Tuesday too, we have the Canadian dollar, we have the CPI, and then we have the Canadian dollar CPI, pardon, on Tuesday, which will be dropped 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time. And on Wednesday, we have the pound CPI and US dollar consumer confidence. So for me, I don't think all these fundamental might actually have effects apart from the pound CPI. I don't think the US dollar consumer confidence might actually have any impact on Wednesday, because what they want to decide, they've already decided. So I think investors are no more looking at any data this year unless we until 2024. So they are not interested in any data for this year till 2024. And then on Thursday, they will drop their final GDP report. So don't forget that the last GDP report they drop comes out better than expected. So I think that's what we should be expecting here too. And then unemployment claim, that is the number of people still filing for unemployment benefits, will drop on Thursday, so we'll know. And the Philly Fed manufacturing index. But well, you might actually expect small volatility on a US dollar on Thursday, but me, I don't believe that this might actually have that long-term effect. It can just be like a 1 hour effect, or let's say 4 hour effect. And on Friday, there is going to be a copy price index drop on Friday. That is from the US dollar and the pounds retail sales report, plus including the Canadian dollar GDP month-over-month report. So you should just brace up for all these news and see when, and be alert when they are going to drop it, so as to either secure your position or either be ready to enter a position after the news. So that's that for the economic activity. So let's go back to the technical aspect. So like I said, this is what I'm looking at on the DSY. So there is a significant support level at this area. If you check the daily time frame, there's a significant support level at this area where price bounced up from on Friday, and I believe that area should be retested, and then we should see a move to the downside, a move to the upside, at that particular area. So that's what I'm looking at. And another thing is that we might see something like this. Something like this might actually happen. You understand? And you should see a retest of that particular area. Then here I'm expecting a rejection that will break this particular support level of 11987, because I think market should retest this all-time low at this area. Market should come and retest this all-time low, even if you are going to see a bullish move at this level. So we should see a retest of the all-time low. And if market follow what they are saying, that there should be a significant interest rate cut in the first quarter of 2024, then we should see a move back to this low. Even we can also see a move breaking this particular low to the downside. That is a US dollar weakness there. But if we now see this particular 103 break out to the upside, that means that the news of the US dollar weakness is a fallacy. You get, so just have to change your mind and ride with the investors. So that's that about the DSI. So checking on the individual currency, the first one we want to check, as we said last week, is the gold. So let's check the gold. So gold is at a significant area, and last week I said that there's going to be a breakout here, and we have a breakout and sell massively to our support level, in which we traded it last week. And after the FOMC, market break this pattern to the upside and started buying. You understand? It break it to the upside and started buying, and meets a resistance level at this particular area and do what? And fall. So I dropped these two on Friday when it break around this area and it sell massively. So for me, I think the market is still coming, price is still coming back to this particular area. So we might see something like this, something like a head and shoulder, and price will reject at this level and move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on gold. So watch out for how price reacts to 2008 right there. But according to some investor, they said that it might still come back to 1970. So let's see how it goes. So if I see a breakout here, then I'll be selling. But my high conviction here is for price to just come and probably range for some times and move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on gold for now. So I'm looking at the formation of probably head and shoulder at this level, and the market to go back to 2071. Then probably we can see a moving back to what time. But this particular area is a very, very strong resistance area you don't want to joke with. So on pounds USD for the year, so probably we saw this decline on Friday, and the market push almost like 180 to 100 pips to the downside to this particular area. So what we are looking at for price to come here and then reject at this particular level, and we see it breaking this side, because this high has been taken out already. So you can see a move back to this level, and then to take out this high, then we'll see a formation of new high. That is what I'm looking at. So watch this level of 1.26202. So that's the level I'm looking at. If market break that level to the downside, then I will change my bias to a sell bias. But anything above this particular area, then that's where I'm looking at to take my buy position, and looking for a break above this particular high. In euro US dollar too, the same thing I'm looking at. I'm looking at buy bias on euro US dollar. So probably you can see markets drop back to this level or back to this particular level. So the level I'll be looking at on Euro USD is 1.08431. That's the level I'll be looking at to take my buy bias. And then any rejection you see here is an opportunity for a bullish setup to break this particular high and back to this 1.2629. 1.12629. So this might actually happen before the end of the year, or probably maybe in January. So you might see this thing up. But if it breaks below this level, then I will not do anything. And then if you have a break of this support of 1.07448, then I will be ready to sell Euro USD back to this particular low right here. So, but my bias is still to the upside as far as price to stay above 1.08431. So my bias is to the upside on the Euro US dollar. So that is that. So on US dollar Japanese yen, this one, my bias is to the downside actually, because we'll see that price reject from the 151 level, and we can also see a retracement back to this particular level of 144, and then we'll see a decline back to this particular low right there. So that's what I'm looking at, right? So price might actually come back here to retest 144.694, and then we'll see a decline back to. So all these things, if you want to enter, you already have the clear. I'm giving you the clear picture of what might actually happens in the market, and then you should use your entry technique to check all those levels, check how price react to this level, and enter with your individual analysis, your individual, what did they call it, strategy. You understand? So your entry strategy, that's what you use, and then your exit strategy. So I'm giving you the picture of what my actually like to happen. And most of the time, if you check the recent and then the past weekly forex forecast, most of it end up playing out as we said. So let's just see how market reacts to this particular area of 144.694. So checking on the USD Swiss franc, what I'm looking at is a bearish setup. That is a sell. I'm looking for a sell setup on the US dollar Swiss franc. So probably price might actually come here to retest this level right here. So I'm looking for price to come here, and then we have a rejection back to the downside at this particular level, because as you can see, the Swiss franc is strong. So here there's a invalidation of this head and shoulder. It got violated, which means that sellers are in position at this particular, which means that just look for a retracement back to this 0.88256 level, and they reject, and you see, you might actually see price coming back to 0.83598 at that level. So this is my safe zone right there. If price break above this level, I won't be selling. But if price still stay below it, then I will be looking for a selling opportunity next week back to 0.83596. So that's that on US dollar Swiss franc. On AUD Swiss franc, I'll be looking for a selling opportunity, because the price is, the pair is in a downtrend, and this is the safe zone right there. So price might actually rally back to this level, and you see a rejection that will even break this level. I'm looking for a break of this level, and one of the reasons is that check what happened consecutively at this area. This area too, when price didn't actually break this level, it went up, hit a resistance, break that level. Here too, when price do the same thing, it went up, then hit some level right here, and then it break this. So the same thing is happening here too. So you can see price moving as high as this, or probably as high as this, and then come back to actually break that level. So, but for me, if you see price still staying under this level, then you can actually sell. Is a big sell confirmation. But if price break this level, you should wait for any rejection at this level again. So if there's no rejection at this level, then you can opt in for buy. But you can still, if price break this 1.590222. Yeah, you can still buy, and then because there is no resistance here any longer if price break above this level, so you can still buy, target this resistance, and then probably you take your profit before that particular resistance. But this resistance should be what you should watch it very well if price break this level, because that's the next resistance. You will likely see a break of this low of 0.56193. so watch that level very well. As you can see, watch how price react to 0.59022. But I believe we should see a decline from this particular area. So my bias on AUD Swiss franc is sell, and then I'm looking for this low to be broken and back to 0.53503. Talking about the next pair is the AUD US dollar. So AUD US dollar, if you check what is going on right here, you see that price has broke through this particular area at first, so it remained this particular area to be broken, and you might actually see a rejection coming back from this particular area, and you see a selling pressure at that level back to this low of 0.62831, and price can actually break this low too. But according to the US dollar weakness report that is now trying to dominate the market, so if we see a breakout of this particular area, if I see a breakout of this, I'll wait for it to settle above this so I'll wait for it to settle above this line. If I see a breakout here, I'll wait for it to settle above this line, then I'll opt in for my bias at that level. But if price still below this particular level, then I'll be looking for a sell bias. So my bias now is to be on the safer side, is a sell bias right now, because this level is still a very strong resistance level that can actually push price to the downside, that can actually drag price to the downside. So that's about AUD Swiss franc. So as a trader, watch how price reacts to this particular level, and then watch how price settle down below. But if price come down below 0.66741, I will be selling AUD USD. But if price still above it, I won't do anything unless price come back below it or break above this level, and then go for a bullish bias there. And another one I want to share with you is AUD Canadian dollar. So last week we saw the strength in Canadian dollar, which dragged the euro card to the downside after I think we enter it, and then it has given us like 70 pips, and it's my break even, because my target is like 120 to 130 pips, so I set break even, and then actually it's my break even on Friday. So right here, I think we should still see continuation of strength in the Canadian dollar, and checking the AUD Canadian dollar, we should see a more move to the downside on this particular pair right here. So that's what I'm looking at. So anything above this level, I'm selling AUD Canada. Below this level, anything below 0.90476, I'm selling AUD Canadian dollar. So that is my bias right there. So anything below this particular level, I'm selling AUD Canadian dollar back to this low, and if this low break, then back to this particular low right there. So traders, check how price react to this level. So at first on Monday, you might see something like this coming back to retest this level and then reject. You might see a weak rejection candle back to the downside. So just follow what market. But the strong conviction right here is a sell bias. And the next pair we want to check is SND Swiss franc. In SND Swiss franc too, I'm on a sell bias on SND Swiss franc, because if you check what is happening here, the buyers don't have much energy to push price to the upside at this level. So probably you might see a strong force coming down to push the price to the downside right here. So you might see something like this, and then you see a sell bias coming in back to the market at that particular area. So let's use black. So we might see a selling buyers coming back to the market, and the sellers might actually drag the price back to 0.51991. So anything above this, then I will switch my bias to a buy bias. And as you can see, the 200 moving average is even above the price level in the daily time frame, which give us a very strong conviction and then of that sellers might actually come back and then drag this price to the downside to 0.51991. Checking the Swiss franc JPY, the Swiss franc JPY, I still believe that this price might buyers might actually still push the price to 165,605. So, and then my setup here is, and my bias here is a bearish bias back to this line right there. And if you check the 50 moving average is above the price level here, which means the price might actually went to go and retest the 50 moving average, and then you might see a decline back to 156,000. So just check the bigger picture that you see what I'm actually saying at that particular area. So we might see price coming back to retest this low right here, this low at 156,000, because if we check this one area, this level has been broken to the downside already, and then we might see price coming back to retest this, and then we see a decline of or something of this nature. But if price now go above 165,605, then I'll opt in for Swiss franc JPY buy. So if price go above this level, then I will be buying Swiss franc JPY. But the moment that price to stay below the 165 level, then I'm shorting Swiss franc JPY. So Euro AUD should be the next pair we should be looking at this week, and it's all because sellers are trying now to push the price to the downside. So as you can see, we might actually see a move back to this area, and then we see a decline to 1.58845. So that's what I'm looking at on Euro AUD. So this is my entry price right here. As you can see, this is my entry price. So probably on Monday we might see price coming back to retest this level right here, and then see a decline. But if the price now go above this level, I will ignore selling the Euro AUD. So as in the USD, I'm looking for a selling opportunity at this particular area to the downside, to break this particular area to the downside. But let's see how it goes. If it's because it has break this level, and then this level is a very strong support level, you should understand. So it will be hard for price to even break this level again, unless there is a very a huge fundamental. So probably the high conviction is for price to break 0.6256, and then price continue moving to the upside. So I'm looking and I'm watching how price reacts to this area. But if I see a sign of rejection here, then I will be selling SND USD back to this low. Then if this low break, then back to this particular low. But my strong bias still telling me might see a breakout at this level to the upside. So the level you should be looking at is 0.62256. If it break, then you know that the strength is still in SMD USD. But if it declined, you know that US dollar is strong, and then it might drag the price back to 0.611. 61130. So the last way I want to check is SND JPY. Yeah, there's nothing much I'm looking at here than SND JPY to the upside because of the strength in the SND and the AUD. So probably you might see price moving back to this level. That is 189. That is 89681. Yeah, 89681. And probably you might see price breaking this particular level or decline from here, from something recorded and so that. But probably this is what I'm looking to trade next week. From here back to this particular high, so something like 80 to 90 pips back to this area. So anything that happened at this area, you might see a decline here because this area is a very strong resistance area back to this low, and then probably back to retest this 200 moving average, and it will go up from there. So guys, watch how price reacts to all of this level right here. But if price now close below this on Monday, then that's when I'll be looking for a sell setup on SND JPY. So this is the weekly forex forecast. I hope you learned something from what I've been saying, from what I've actually shown you so far in most of this pair. So it's not a thing of the brag, but most of the weekly forex forecasts we did always go through, always go in line with what we predicted. There are just some few variations of it. So guys, like I said, this is the last weekly forex forecast for the week, and if you have not joined the broker that I use, you can just click the link, is in the description box. Click the link of the broker. They don't widen spread unnecessarily, you understand, so they don't cause a lot of slippage like other broker deals in news. So click on the link in the description box, register it, verify it, deposit, and start trading. So for now, there are some pro firm I have their affiliate link, so you can just click on my Twitter and the page, and the link is in the description box. Then check my profile, you will see Linktree, then click on it, you see the recommended pro firm there, so you can just click one and register and have your account for the meantime, as the weekly forex forecast will resume January 13, 2024. So guys, stay safe, trade safe, don't forget to trade safely, don't forget to set your protective spots. Merry Christmas and a wonderful Happy New Year in advance.